Okay, Wednesday, February 25th. The parts showed up last night. This is the proper 1 3/4 club. All right, Wednesday, February 25th. Parts arrived. Got my exhaust clamp couplers so I can get the exhaust in. I got my temporary little fuel tank, so I can get that mounted. This is a top dead center tool. So you put that in where the spark plug is and rotate the engine until that pops up. But the big thing is the rims showed up from VTO out of Arizona. So I'm going to take a look at those next. Okay, the 4 rims showed up, but there's another box coming which has the lug nuts and the covers and the caps. So, darn it, I thought those would have been here. I think they're coming in tonight. So I can't quite pre-mount one of these. I just want to make sure things are going to fit. Let me show you what's going on. When I rebuilt the front spindles, I had to buy aftermarket studs, and the concern with these studs is they could be too long. That's what people were saying when you put the baby moons on, but I don't see that being an issue. But we'll see what happens. Sometimes you end up cutting these off. Why did I buy these? Because they were like $2 a piece instead of some, I can't remember how much they were from Datsun, but they were really expensive. It's like, come on. So anyway, that's what's going on here. So I want to pre-test the rim, see if we got to cut these. The tires have been ordered. And they're shipped, so it won't be long. I'll get the tires, take the rims, take them down to Truth of Consequences to Terry's Tire, get those mounted, get them on the car. And then one of these can be used as a spare tire. So that's the plan. So I guess I will get the car back into the shop and start working on the exhaust, get the fuel tank mounted, do some of those things, and I also need to do the valves. So back on the car. Boy, it's rough getting old. Didn't have the strength to push the car over the little ramps, so I had to use a come along. You know, works fine, but still getting old. Okay, working on the exhaust. Start at the rear here. Got the rear clamp in, got a new stainless bolt, nuts, washers, rubber. Same thing here. So we're somewhat isolated. I still need to tighten this one. That clamp is on. This clamp is on. This strap clamp is on. I have the couplers on, but this is the problem here, that this won't go on. So I think I'm going to have to fabricate, probably cut this, modify it so that it runs over here and gets over to here. This, I had it rotated down, but I couldn't get the clamp on, so he had to rotate up. Doesn't hurt anything, but I got issues with that clamp. Now, a real muffler shop would have made all this in one piece, right? But I'm not a real muffler shop. So that's what I got to do. So take a look at that. So this is what I'm thinking. I'll make a couple, let's call them straps, and two bolts on each. And I might have to trim a little here, but that should do it. So I'll make those out of 1/8" stainless, and we'll see how it works. Okay, clamp is done. You can see the 2 stainless brackets I made. Focus, there we go. That one, notched it. So we'll see, you know, over time as it heats up and cools, any of the bolts come loose or any leaks. But for now, I think that's good. What I did notice is some of my rubber started coming off. So I'm gonna have to scrape that off and redo those. Really, it only has to last long enough to get the body on. So I might just leave these until that time. Okay, moving on. Next task complete. I built a bracket for the little gas tank. This is the original bracket for the coil and the ballast resistor. So I just added some materials to that. Still have all the hoses and plumbing to hook up. Get that later. But that's done. Funky, but perfect. So I got the battery back on. Thing is, it's a deep cycle battery, so it has the weird screw connectors. I also hooked up a temporary ground to the engine block here. So I need some kind of a loop to change this fitting to that. So I'll be looking for those. And what else do I have to do? Well, really, the next big thing is to hook up the gas lines and adjust the valves. So I'm not sure how the gas line is routed. So I need to go up and look at YouTube, get that figured out. And I think I'll save the valve adjusting for tomorrow.